Hello everyone, hope you are all keeping well. So today what we're going to be doing is catching up on a quick session for week 2 of August. Lo and behold, we've been having a few issues looking at getting the right software in place, trying to set up a live streaming system. Hopefully we're going to have that running full speed by the end of the month, so then we can do lots of live streaming. We're actually going to be doing live update reviews every single day. But basically what I'm going to do is just run you through 4 different trade ideas. I've got a few of them running here actually. Just a quick disclaimer, this is one of my retail accounts that I manage, so it's not my institutional portfolio, so you can see these are very small trade sizes that I've got on. Just basically making use of this for a small sort of $2,000 portfolio. So very low exposure on this account, but on my institutional account, I'm hoping to make some big swings. Just prefer to keep the retail numbers when I'm using this, because there's no point in trying to show you how to use a $200,000 account when majority of my students, almost all of my students, don't have that. So I prefer making use of portfolios similar to theirs. So basically what we are having a look at are a few different trade opportunities. For some of you who may have watched or not watched our previous live trade session, you can have a look at it. You can find it on the YouTube page. Basically I have listed up 25 seats available to people who would like to access our trading plan. Every single week, my team of traders and I, we put together a professional trading plan, and what we do is we help capitalize on this. This assists us in moving money in and out of the financial markets of currencies, commodities, and we also trade derivatives for indices and for trading equities as well. So basically, to anyone who's interested in getting some weekly plans sent out to you every single Sunday, it's quite a nice opportunity, because it has made us a lot of money. It's made our students a great amount of money, and our traders as well. So I'm just going to pop up week 2's trading plan on the screen here. I'm just struggling to get it up. I've got a bit of an issue. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see if I can get it up. Okay, so I'm hoping the screen recorder is recording this nicely, but let me just get it down to nicely sized over here. Okay, so we are in the zone. Okay, great. So weekly trading plan, August week 2. I'm going to run through this very fast. There's going to be a download link below, so have a look at it, see what you think. First trade idea, Aussie dollar, US dollar on the weekly chart. As you can see, there's a very strong level of upward resistance against this horizontal zone on this point here, this point, and much further back in history on those points. There is also a sense of support over here. You can see market prices came down, tested the support, and it seems to be a very strong neckline resistance. So on the weekly chart, we are testing those areas. So basically what I'm expecting is to try and enter in on a sell order, which I already have, and hold this position a little bit lower. Obviously my cutoff point is going to be just above this neckline resistance. Moving into a closer snapshot, as you can see, bearish retracement from this area. This chart is basically more of a technical based trading strategy, and in terms of understanding Aussie dollar, US dollar, the US dollar has been on a long term slide. It has been a falling knife to a lot of analysts that are understanding this market. The sentiment is that people do think at some point in time there is going to be a turnaround. People are going to start understanding the numbers a bit better, and the Dow reaching all-time highs almost week on week. I think that information is going to start reflecting against other pairs, and the US dollar is going to begin to strengthen. More so if you look at technically, the money flow index MFI is gravely overbought, so you are going to find a move bearish, more specifically because people have put a lot of their take profits in this area after shorting the dollar, so you're going to see those take profits get hit and price moving back down. Going to the next trade idea, Euro, Great British Pound. Pretty similar to what we were previously having a look at on the weekly chart. You can see this upward resistance area. You can see in the past it's been respected very strongly. It's sort of quite a big spiking region, so obviously this region has been spiked quite a few times. So obviously this spike area is quite big. I've already entered on 2 sell orders and a buy order to help hedge my position, because I have a funny suspicion we might be seeing a strong spike. So obviously if I get a spike into this region, I'm going to enter some heavy sell orders. As you can see, the MFI is moving into that overbought region as well. Euro US dollar, obviously US dollar, looking into it, US dollar, I still think that there might be an opportunity to find a strengthening point on the US dollar. And also in terms of the euro, I think the euro has had a strong run on the weekly. It's literally been directional all the way through, and there's been very little resistance areas. So if you see in this inner zone here on this weekly chart, very little resistance, very strong run to the top, but now you can see it's hitting a strong neckline. Upward support areas and downward resistance areas are being shown very strongly in this area. What I've basically done is entered on a double sell order and a buy order just to hedge up my position slightly, and basically what I'm going to be doing is holding this position over the long term. Look, in terms of my analysis, I'm not going to share too much of it with you, else we'd be here till the cows come home. But what I do understand is there could be an opportunity for the US dollar to strengthen going into the next couple weeks and maybe 3 to 4 months. So I think this could be a strong technical neckline resistance area. Also considering that a lot of traders are going to be holding their take profits in this region, and slowly but surely your buy orders are going to be thinning out a lot. So going into this region, your buy orders are going to be thinning out a lot, and obviously a lot of people are going to be expecting this to be a technical barrier, and they're going to have a lot of sell orders there. The second the market hits those sell orders and those take profits, it is going to move downward. Last idea, I've actually got it on the screen here. I'm taking a watch at it as we are recording. On Twitter. So Twitter has been talk of the town after earnings reported. Basically, they haven't been able to add users on, so it came out flat saying they've added 0 users. This has happened in the past in their previous quarterly earnings. They have shown some bad numbers before, but usually it's followed by a strong strategy to bring on brand new users over the next quarter, and to improve their numbers, improve their investment strategies as well. And obviously you can see this earnings drop off, this major gap going down, and this strong sell-off. In my previous week 1 trading plan, I did alert it to my students. We managed to hold on a short sell over here, which was very shortly lived. But what I do understand is there is an opportunity for Twitter to recover. Look, at this point in time, this sell-off is obviously what I'd like to call fast money moving out quick. It's just the volatility of bad numbers coming out, but people do understand what Twitter does for a living, and they are there to try and bring on serious numbers. And going into the next quarterly report, I feel that they're going to be doing everything in their power to try and recover those numbers and the users that they've possibly lost and not been able to add. Technically speaking, you can see there's a strong technical barrier here. So in terms of your neckline support area, I think that we could have a big opportunity for the market to move back up into this sort of 19, let me have a look at the number here, the $19.60 region. And I think that it could be a big opportunity for a strong revival and a bullish pattern. Now, obviously, that's going to be an interesting idea to see what we could do. I'm in on this position. I've got some small contracts on my retail account, and I've got some very large contracts that I'm trading on my institutional portfolio. So obviously, that's going to be important to have a look at. As seen on the 4-hourly chart, technically speaking, we're trading within a range here. There was a very strong bullish breakout. You can see a very strong bullish breakout above that 13 EMA, followed by a major breakdown and a sell-off, a gap back down into that region. But now you can see it's hit the bottom of this range, and it's now hitting this neckline, coming in for a support area. You can see on the MFI there are very few people that are selling this now. It's obviously into the oversold region. The sell orders are done, and now people are having a look to see if they can catch a revival, catch a move back up to this upper resistance region, which I think could be a big opportunity. So obviously first target price, upper resistance region, second target price from where the gap began to sell off from. I feel that market could close the gap over the next 7 to 9 trading days. Progress on week 1, as you can see, Tesla idea managed to do very well. Unfortunately, we didn't get that breakout. The breakdown out actually broke down, but retraced to a support and managed to catch a strong bounce, especially on really good news on the Tesla Model 3. Twitter idea, our breakdown trading strategy worked perfectly last week. We didn't get as much as we wanted, but we still did well. US dollar Swiss franc idea, very slow week, went for that retest, and in terms of the Friday 4th, it had a very strong sell-off, and there is a possible retracement to previous resistance levels. Brent crude trade idea, obviously you know we do trade Brent a huge amount. I stayed out of Brent, and I decided that the market wasn't too sure what was happening. You know, the retracement for the week occurred in very little technical areas. The only thing I can expect is that price on US crude was trying to break $50 a barrel, whereas Brent crude was pushing around the 52.50 region. I think that there could have been an opportunity that because US crude had hit that whole number $50 resistance barrier, that maybe that pullback caused Brent crude to pull back as well. So after all, for all of you who are having a look at to capitalize on these weekly ideas, long-term ideas, good luck for you. Hope it goes very well. Once again, as you know, educational purposes only. We're not recommending any of this as trading ideas that you can risk your money on, purely educational. So as you can see, we're also having a look at British markets. British markets, not too much happening. There is an inflation report hearing coming out, very high impact. Obviously, it's going to be good to see what they are talking about, especially since Brexit is starting to actually open up fast and start to speed up a lot more. US markets, not too much happening. Initial jobless claims coming out, consumer price index year on year, and the EIA crude oil stocks change. Obviously, crude oil, always know what trading that strategy on the crude oil stocks change has burnt a lot of people out. Try and wait for the market to settle and then look to see if you want to pick a direction. And as you can see, we've got the information over here. Euro markets, very little happening. 4 releases coming out in the German markets, nothing for Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, there is some information coming out from the consumer price index for France. Make sure to have a look at that. And then you can see below here, we've got the economic calendar for the whole week. This economic calendar is really not too busy at all. There's not too much information coming out for week 2 of August. So possibly we're going to see a lot more technical trading strategies coming out, trying to trade against the money flow indexes, and also you're going to try and see a lot of continuation trends coming in from the previous week's news releases. So just to have a look on the Euro US dollar weekly, I am in on this position. Obviously, as some of you may know, I do enter on my positions quite early. You can see on the monthly chart here, the stochastic is into that serious oversold region. It's happened very few times before, but after that strong oversold, I must correct myself, that strong overbought region, you can see that market has begun to retrace very strongly back down into those lower regions. So that's what I'm having a look for. I'm looking for a strong retracement. I'm looking for euro to weaken, at the same time dollar strengthening, and I feel that some of the data I've had a look at could do very well. These technical barriers over here are going to be good. So basically what I'm in on is I've got a little bit more of a more complicated strategy on my institutional account, but I basically entered 2 sell orders and 1 buy order. So these sell orders are going to be held down to the bottom. This buy order is just in case the market moves slightly higher on this weekly candle, or it might cause a slightly bit of a cloud cover, a bearish cloud cover, similar to sort of this region here, or it may actually cause a strong spike. So obviously my take profit for this buy orders just in case the market does try to wash up a little bit, and I can re-short and hold my position back down. That buy order is just effectively to hold some security and to make sure that if the market does move up, I can cover any running losses with a half position running in the opposite direction to my sell orders. Going into the next position, let me have a look. Aussie dollar, US dollar. 1 hourly, you can see on the 1 hourly it's formed some strong bearish cloud cover. On the 4 hourly actually, so you can see it's sort of formed this sort of slooping trend going, just breaking below the 13 EMA now, and you can see it's sort of sitting below the 13 EMA quite consistently. So obviously I'm going to see if this region is going to be broken and move downwards. The Aussie dollar, US dollar, I've only got one single buy order and one single sell order open on this retail account. My institutional account, I'm a bit heavier on the Aussie dollar, but basically the reason why is because this exposes my portfolio on Euro US dollar and Aussie dollar US dollar, which means I'm actually long US dollar on two separate currency pairs, and I can't increase my exposure too much. So basically what I'm going to look at is seeing if I can open up an additional position on the breakout, but I need to keep my stops very, very tight on the Aussie dollar because I can't expose my portfolio to too much, more specifically because of the strategies we use. So if this neckline here gets broken and the 13 EMA gets respected strongly, I'm going to see if I can enter. But as you can see here on the weekly charts, we've got a strong washout to this upper region here. You can see how nicely it's been respected over here, and on the stochastic we've got very overbought, and those sort of lines are starting to cross quite well and hoping for price to move back down. So obviously I'm holding in, going to see if I can make something off of this. What I'll probably do is if my sell order does, my take profit does get triggered on the sell order in a few weeks time, I'll probably actually open up that stop loss region for the buy order and hold that position back up to cover whatever I've lost on the buy order, just as my position has been hedged as well on this trade. Then lastly, going into Euro GBP as well. So I've done a very similar position to the market for the Euro US dollar trade. As you can see, these are all technical barriers, but as you can see, this area here has a strong washout area. So this is where those candlesticks are going to wash out to the region, and they could actually cause major spikes. So this is what I'd sort of consider to be my spiking region. So I'm looking for price to spike up into this upper region, followed by holding it back down. So obviously, as you can see on the stochastic, strongly overbought, and then MFI is showing a little bit of divergence. So if we have a look on, let me go down into it. If you have a look on the hourly chart, you can obviously very strong divergence over here, which is also going to be very important to have a look at. And I think if the market spikes a little bit, I'm going to try and enter on an additional sell order. So obviously Euro GBP and Euro US dollar are going to be my strong positions to have a look at. Look, there's a lot of economic data I've analyzed for these positions, and it's going to be hard to get into it right now to have a look at. But if you have a look, we're basically trying to wait for this trend to be broken to the downside. Not sure why I haven't got an EMA on this, but on this chart. But if I threw up that EMA, I'm basically waiting for the EMA to break down, and I can sort of trigger for a strong hold. You can see on the monthly chart, the stochastic is also getting into that oversold region. And obviously what we're having a look at is, even if this is trying to create a breakout on the monthly charts, we're hoping for a retracement and causing, even if it's going on an upward trend, we're just basically waiting for a retracement back down into this region that we can actually make some profit off of. So obviously these are going to be long-term positions we're going to hold, and I'm focusing strongly on them. Going into the last opportunity to have a look at is Twitter. So Twitter on the hourly position, let me just move these out of the way. Twitter on the hourly position, I've got a lot more contracts open on this, but basically what I'm having a look at is this seems to be quite a strong opportunity for price to move into this region over here. As you can see, I've got 2 orders open, and basically what I'm watching is this level is being respected quite strongly, and you can see the EMA has sort of been slightly broken down and then pulled straight back above on this region. So what I'm basically having a look at is a breakout from this region followed by a retracement and possibly a move back up to the top. So obviously if I get a strong entry on this point, I'm probably going to add to this position a little bit, especially because the rest of my positions on this account are all going to be held long term. Just trying to select this line and it's being absolutely impossible. There we go. Okay, so basically I'm trying to see a strong breakout above the EMA. Obviously it's just moved above on the 30 minutes, followed by breakout of this neckline and a move right back up to the top. So on the market open, I actually went for a order right about here, and the market has actually moved down. So basically what I'm having a look at is I entered an additional order over here on this bearish candle, and now I'm having a look to see if I can hold this back up to the top. So obviously you can see the market has got lots of buy orders open, and a lot of people are going to expect a retracement back into this area to fill this gap region. So obviously, as you can see as well on the 4 hourly, we've got that sort of strong respect region of let me just put some lines down for you. This sort of region is being respected very strongly, and we do feel that this information is going to move back up into that higher range. And basically what I'm having a look at is see a bit of resistance at this level here, more specifically because of where the market actually opened on the gap down, and also in this region here, price supported this region quite strongly on that 1730 region, and I'm basically looking for price to move back up into here. So I'm going to be holding this for a while, probably going to set some tight stops once price moves back above. But once again, I think this could be a possible early entry, but I'm waiting for market to thin out maybe slightly into this region here, and then maybe breakouts in this region to the upside. So that's what I'm having a look at. Once again, as some of you know and some of you may not know, this is what we do. We analyze the markets, we trade portfolios, institutional and retail clients alike. But my big focus, what I do is I actually teach people how to trade and invest and manage their wealth the best that they possibly can, the best that I know how to do it. So if I just throw up my website over here, for any information you might want to find out about, you can see over here, this is our home page. You can have a look at what training products we offer. So basically I run a fully online training academy. I train students in about 25 different countries around the world, and I do it all online. So I deliver online training products to teach people how to trade, invest, manage their wealth the best that they possibly can, and I've got quite a good team behind it. A big focus that we're looking into is also to have a look at other traders in the industry that want to learn what we do and learn our strategies, but also want to trade our portfolios for us. So what I actually do is I put my money where my mouth is, and I back my students with money as well. Not all of them are backed, but some of the select few I do put a reasonable amount of money behind them, and I actually will focus on managing them and making sure that they are producing strong returns for us. This is specifically to try and give them a strong backing of professional experience, so that they can learn how to trade and invest properly in a professional company. So you can see here we've got an MSc Academy access for a full 12-month access, scholarships as well. So if you would like access to our scholarships, we also have scholarships. You can click apply at the bottom. If you'd like to work for us as well, you can also have a look at our work for us page. And once again, if you want to contact us and we'll make sure to help you out. So once again, to everyone, I'd just like to say thanks for tuning in. I'm going to leave the trading plan link down below that you can download from our Dropbox, and we're going to make sure to upload a weekly trading plan of all the ideas I've got running, what I'm making money off of, what my students and my traders are making money off of, so you can follow along, you can learn, and hopefully some of you can come up with your own ideas and trade them as well. Once again, everyone, hope you have an awesome week of trading. I'll make sure to see you in the next video. Cheers for now.